Welcome to Secura Law Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of Secura Law. I'm here with
Stephanie de la Millar
and Eduardo Borgard.
So now we're going to have a new episode that sometimes during the closing, no one take that is not really important for everybody, but I think it's one of the most important things in the closing, that is the pre-closing documents. That is all the certificate and how the seller showed to the buyer that the property is free of any debt or any kind of problem that the property could have. Why they don't care about that, I don't know. But we are going to talk about that so everybody knows about the pre-closing document certificate from the municipality and the challenge that is work with the government sometimes. Do you have any idea how to start?
Sure. I think the best way would be to list the documents first, so we know the names of them, and then we can go one by one. If I'm not mistaken, it was
can we
six.
do the list here? For not here.
Yeah.
Here, no worries.
Property.
If I'm not forgetting anyone, it's like 6. Right off the bat.
Okay.
Right? We're talking about the cadastral certificate, which is the core one, because basically it's like the birth certificate of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the property tax payment.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the no debt of property tax payment. Then we have the corporation works tax.
For the municipality.
And then we have the no debt of that corporation works tax.
Exactly.
And then we have the letter of no debt for the water service.
Mm-hmm.
And the letter of no debt of the HOA. 7.
Okay.
We have 7 documents.
And something that the notary is gonna get, that is the certificate of liens. But that's more from the side of the notary. This is more directly to the seller, the one that you enlist, and it's gonna be here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that the first step is to pay the property tax, right?
Yeah. You have to be up to date with the government. This, I don't think it would be necessary to explain to them the process of paying that for this specific
yes and no
topic. Yeah.
You know why? Because sometimes, let's say that the closing is, or we are getting the closing in July. So we speak with the seller and say, hey, send me the receipt of the property tax. And they send you the confirmation of the wire transfer that they made to the municipality. That's not the receipt. The receipt is one document that the municipality is going to give you. It's going to give you or provide. Sometimes you make the payment, you got like electronic receipt or something. I don't remember how to start it with a QR code. With that, you need to go to the municipality and get the actual receipt. With that, we can start working to get all the pre-closing documents. So that's the reason sometimes the clients or the sellers are like, yes, I pay it, no worries. And when we receive that, okay, we need to go to the municipality, or we need to create the power of attorney to get the to go to the municipality, show that why we are asking for the receipt. You know, it's something that take us another 4 days that we are not considering, but that 4 days at the end of the closing time
end up counting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So remember, you need the receipt original from the municipality.
I think in that case, we have to open a parenthesis where we're talking about owning property in Mexico 101.
Okay.
In which you have to know that in a property tax administration, the government divides it in 6 bimesters. Because this has to do with the actual closing, as you mentioned. If we are doing it in a certain month, let's say June, we have to be up to that date paid.
Yes.
Because sometimes people pay the whole year, which is fine. And some others, we have people, especially developers, that only pay every bimester.
I think
don't
it's
spend
that
any more money.
I think it's that the developers try to save money and makes sense. It's not. I'm not judging them.
They're making business.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
business. It's not their property, you know.
Yes.
So it makes sense that they pay until the day that is going to be the closing. That bimester. But you as an owner and you are selling your house and a resale, if you pay at the beginning of the year, you have a discount. And it's good. And maybe in the closing, if it's maybe in February, just something happened in a closing, you can request the prorated amount. It's not something that is gonna be so crazy. So the most important, get the receipt to start the process to get the pre-closing documents
of the year that you're selling.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
2024, you have to be paid up to 2024 or the whole year.
Perfect.
Doesn't matter. Once we have that, now we can process the cadastral certificate.
You want to talk about
Yes. For me, it's like a birth certificate of the radiography of the property, where it comes the main description of where is the unit located at, square meters of the construction or of the surface of the land or both, and the previous owner's name and the date in what it was issued. It has to be said that this document has a validity of 6 months.
Well, you're talk about true. This is something by law has a term of 6 months. Mm-hmm. However, because the municipality said that they have to calculate the acquisition tax with the cédula catastral or cadastral certificate, the value that they are saying that is, or the term is 3 months without any code or law or.
Well, as a disclaimer, at the very bottom of the cadastral certificate, it has like a description saying specifically that certificate is only good for 6 months. Mm-hmm. That's their disclaimer.
And the municipality, when you are getting the acquisition tax, or you are willing to pay the acquisition tax, they say no, this has 4 months. You have to get a new one. What?
They are contradicting themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's something crazy. And it's not that we have something against the municipality, but it's the reality that we have to work. And it's all the background, all the tras del telón.
Backstage.
Exactly. Backstage after your closing or during the closing process that we have to work with the municipality. And that's it. It's a big issue, I feel, because sometimes the clients or the seller buyer, they are not agreed to, or they are not really coming in this day that they say they want the closing. I say, hey, let's move it 3 more months or 2 more months. Yeah, And in that moment, everything changed.
That could jeopardize the whole deal.
Yeah, but we are saying this because so you can understand what's happening. We move all the time the dates and everything.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. And it's due mostly in all the times due to bureaucracy. I mean, I understand that the municipality are employees that are taking care of to be these safekeepers of the information, and that the information is updated as it corresponds. And sometimes it takes months or a lot of documents so they can have the certainty that they have the right information so they can issue the documents properly. And in the middle, many things could happen. So a document that usually in standard time takes 1 week, in a very specific situation could take 2 months.
The question is easy to get the cadastral certificate? Is easy? Really easy?
If you have all the documents, it's easy, but it's not immediate. It takes 15 days, 20 days.
Exactly.
To get it issued.
Or sometimes more. Sometimes 2 months if you don't pay the expedite fee. I have to say it.
Yes, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, it's something that is sad to say, but it's a reality that all the attorneys, notaries, closing coordinators
face every day.
Exactly.
We have to live with it.
Exactly. Because, of course, we understand as when you are in the side of the government that you have to deal with 3,000 people every hour. I understand that. But also an amount to make the work that you already are doing not make sense. The time, is, I don't know how to explain it, because I understand 5 days, okay, Makes sense. Makes sense for the amount of people that you have, but 3 weeks saying that you are doing an inspection and never got inspection, and suddenly they give you the cadastral certificate, and you say, "Hey, what is taking 3 weeks or almost a month to give me that?" Because of the inspection. What inspection? You never went to the house. You know, it's kind of weird, that situation. So to avoid that kind of things and get the cadastral certificate in 2 days, 3 days,
3 days,
you have to pay the expedite fee, and you can get it, and sometimes with mistakes. Yeah.
Because it's urgent, so they do it really quickly, and sometimes it has mistakes, or it has information that it's not updated because they did it really fast. Are things that we have to face. We have sometimes to communicate this to the clients in a very clear way. Sometimes we only want to avoid entanglement for the clients, and they will say, "I don't understand a word that you are saying." So we say, "Okay, it's taking longer than it was scheduled."
Yeah.
You know, to avoid to explain all of this, that it could be very, I don't know, confusing for a client that it's foreign, that doesn't know the system, like what is really happening. I mean,
If it's hard for us as an attorney, that we understand all the laws, that we understand how's the process, as we understand everything, and sometimes it's hard to deal with these situations. Imagine a foreign, an American, a Canadian, any client that is coming to our country looking for a Mexican dream of living in the Caribbean, you know, and we try to explain of that. That's the reason they are hiring us. Sometimes I prefer to get the solution, and then I have to do this to get your document.
What we have to talk about the no depth of the water service letter is that we have a little bit of a mix between political interests, private companies, and government institutions, because originally the government has this faculty, and then they decided to hire like a third company to provide this service in a better way that the government
privately
would.
at least.
Yeah, and that's
Not sure
and that
it's
is why
better.
we have Aguacan. That's the name of the private company, but all this is backed up by CAPA, which is the name of the government institution, right?
You know that here in Quintana Roo was the first time that I saw that?
Yeah, I mean we're something else, you know.
But this is okay. From my point of view, Aguacan, I saw that inside Aguacan, and the system, of course, the water service is more expensive, for sure.
But it's better, would you say?
Yes, a lot better.
A better service?
Yeah, because, for example, when they entered to Playa del Carmen, remember that years ago, Playa del Carmen in the 5th, 10th, 15th Avenue was crazy.
We had no sewerage system.
It was. It was, but like, I don't know, I'm not expert on that, but the system, if you need this
Plumbing
diameter,
yeah.
In Playa del Carmen, we used to have this, like a system for a house for all the municipalities. So in one point, everything is gonna explode.
Every rain, it used to clog up, and we have
exactly
a lot of water.
And they change all of that, and you say, "Hey, I'm paying a lot of water," but in this, the reality is that you are seeing the service, or not see, you cannot see it.
But you see the benefits, right?
But the benefit is something like
you
that.
feel the difference.
Yeah, then
Yes.
it's sad to say, but it's the reality, and you can also in security of the workers. I remember when I saw the Aguacan guys with all the security, the boots, the vest, the helmet, and everything, and the capa. If they bring a T-shirt, that was amazing. You know, I'm not saying that I'm against Kappa again, but the situation that they put their workers also is, I think,
they're more professional.
Kind of.
And
important.
at the end of the day, that's the benefit of a private company. They have to make a good job, and they have to make the process faster, so they don't spend more money, right?
So the certificate came from Aguacan or from Kappa?
It comes from Aguacan.
Okay.
Those letters, when we get the no debt, at the end of the day, the one providing the service and the one that you need to pay is Aguacan. So therefore, they issue that letter, always
Sure.
backed up by the
By
CAPA
CAPA?
institution. They have they work together.
Because years ago, when I used to go directly and do it, thank God now after a lot of work we have a person that help us. But years ago, I have the receipt from Aguacan, and I went directly to CAPA to get the certificate. And sometimes they say, "Oh no, joven." you need to get.
That's slang for a little boy.
So in that moment, it was get the receipt from from Aguacan, but the certificate is directly in the office of CAPA. I don't know if today you need to.
I've seen letters with both names.
Okay,
Like
that's good.
they work joint together. You pay to one, but I issue it as a government institution, but
Wow.
you have to go through both of them, right? And we also have, for example, in Portaventuras, right? That it's a little bit different because they don't have like a specific contract. They give a concession to the
To another third party.
residency to a third party, so that's why you have to go through every single one of them.
Yes.
So they can prove that you have either no contract or no debt, right?
Yeah. So looks like we already spoke about only two certificates.
Oh,
the property tax, the cadastral certificate, and the water. And I think we still need more to speak about the water service or the water certificate, because like the condominium that has only one
1 month.
meter, perfect.
Oh.
The one that has 1 meter is a nightmare. It's a nightmare to get the certificate of no depth of water, because at the end you said that something really, really true before the podcast started. The water came always with a depth. You know, you get, as soon as you have the receipt, it's already a depth there.
Yeah, because the water's running.
Exactly.
There's no way you could shut all your usages.
I'm gonna sell my condo.
Yeah,
all condominium, close the water,
Yeah.
please. 1 month.
And pay
And pay.
at the same time.
If you want to go to the bathroom, go to Starbucks or someplace else. We're not using water here whatsoever until I close my property. And that's an issue. That's something
That
irrealistic.
is a Wakan dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
their minds, that is the way that it should be, so they can be issuing the certificate with 100% of certainty that
Yeah.
it's up to date.
Yeah, because it's something to laugh about. When we have a situation like this, it's like we tell the administration, as soon as you pay, give me the receipt, and at that moment I'll go. Because if you miss a couple of hours or days, when you go there and file for it, they say you already have a debt.
You say it. It's hours. It's just hours. We already have that experience that we receive the payment. You saw the receipt, for example. Today is 29. We received the receipt on 29. They run to pay it, send us the receipt, and we go to do it. And,
It's
sorry.
already too late.
You already have a debt for the next month. What? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, I can pay it. It's 1 day, an hour. It's 15,000 pesos or 20,000 pesos. What?
Yeah, because in a whole condominium, you're talking about
The
a
whole
ton of
condominium.
square meters.
Exactly.
Cubic meters.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of work that's on the backstage that now no one sees. And it's the core of the closing, because without this, we can't proceed with signing the deed, right?
Yes.
But especially the water and the HOA, those specific certificates, they are only good for 1 month. So that's why most likely during the whole process of the closing, we'll have to get it several times, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because one is presented to the municipality authorities, the other is, when we have to present it to the state authorities, it's already expired, the first one, so we have to ask for a new one. So don't feel that it's something strange if during the recording process of your unit, we need to renew these documents. Mostly of the times we have to renew the water certificate and the HOA certificate.
I mean,
almost a rule.
And I see no issue. That's why we like to tell you this, because you're using water and you have to pay HOAs every month. So
Exactly.
you have to do it anyways. It's not an extra
No.
spend, right?
But if you if you look at the size of the boiler they're hiring us, hey, we already closed. What you're asking for me 3 months later? It makes sense that they
Yeah.
are, but a simple explanation, as I already said, are that those are the only for every month. So as soon as you are, we're gonna submit everything to the public registry, of course.
Has to be updated.
Normally there is no problem. Normally, but sometimes the girl of that day say, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it." It's not in the mood, and she said, "I need everything updated." That sometimes the issue. So we have to handle it, speak with the client, and you can understand now a little more about this. Until now, only the 2 certificates, 2 pre-closing documents.
Yeah.
What we're missing, the no depo property tax.
Yeah. I mean, the no debt of property tax is just an excuse for the government to charge for another certificate, right?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, you've already paid your property tax
And you have a receipt.
and you paid it to them
And you have a receipt.
and you have a receipt.
I know.
But now they issue a letter saying that indeed you paid and you have no debt.
But
right?
the most interesting is that you need the property tax. You pay the property tax. You have your receipt. So now you have the cadastral certificate with both of them. You can go and say, "Hey, I want the certificate on no debt of property tax." Okay, give me the receipt. Here is the receipt. Here is the certificate, the cadastral certificate. Can you give me that? Yes, you have to pay
It's like
500.
200 pesos. Something
200?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, 200 something.
Let's say 300. You have to pay that. So I can give you a letter saying that you don't owe property
Me
tax
money.
because you give me the receipt showing that you don't owe property tax. What?
Yeah,
Trying to explain that to our clients, you know?
Yeah.
For us, as I said, we understand the process. We are lawyers. We understand
Yeah.
all this kind of bureaucracy. And it still is like, really?
Yeah. Even though doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
To be honest.
And the same thing happens with the other tax aside of the property tax, that you don't have to pay this one every year. This is only when you sell property, and that's the corporation of works tax.
But in that case, maybe that we're gonna have an argument here. But I think that is something that, from my point of view, is reasonable. You know?
Reasonable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end, the property tax in Mexico is really cheap.
It's
Really
really
cheap.
cheap, yeah.
And if you pay it, as I said, for all year, you have a discount.
On top of that.
The corporation, that is not a corporation, it's more an obligation. It's like you have to pay the same amount that you're paying property tax without the discount. And that's it. Of course, a property of 2 million that we are talking about, almost nowadays 35 millions pesos.
Yes.
Yes, no, 30 million pesos, something like that.
Thirty-
$2 million?
Yeah, $2 million.
Should be around the ballpark, yeah.
Yeah, let's
Like
say
30
that.
something.
We are talking about 30 million pesos. And you are paying 86,000 pesos. Sounds a lot. Of course, sounds a lot. But you have a property of 30 million.
In the grand scheme of things,
What is the percentage?
it's peanuts.
Exactly. So, and it's something that is going to be a benefit for the municipality.
Yes. For your community. I mean, you live there.
And the public
so-
works, that's the name of the tax. That
Exactly.
payment goes directly for them to develop more sewerage system, develop more public lights, pavement, all that. That's used for
The grass?
for everyone. Yeah,
Very simple. To cut the grass.
yeah,
That's it.
definitely. And for that certificate, you also have to get the no debt of that certificate. It's the same with the predial.
Exactly.
Show me the receipt that you paid me that tax, and I will issue a letter saying that you already paid and you have no debt.
And you know what? You need to get, when you give that to the notary to get to the public registry, you need also the payment that you are paying.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Like
Not
the
only
little
receive
ballot.
it, exactly, the ballot to make that you made the payment.
They ask you for the receipt of those 200 and something pesos
Exactly.
that you paid
Not
for
only
that
the certificate.
no debt.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
payment
know
of the letter.
Yes,
No?
and the certificate.
Yeah. And that leaves only what we're missing: the no lien certificate and the HOA.
But I think we can do a second one, a second episode about that. This is the first part, and we can go to the other, like the clickbait that
Oh yeah.
they are interested, so they are looking for the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
episode. They are waiting for that.
If we get to 100 likes,
Exactly. We are gonna explain it. If not,
yeah.
we are gonna explain it.
we're gonna do the chapter 2.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.